There's a lot to be said for maintaining your identity when
Yes.
you're involved in a partnership,
Mhm.
whether that's business, marriage, friendship, even uh, adult child,
Yes.
whether it's your own child, I would imagine. I don't have children. However, I do have that type of
Yes.
kind of relationship, right? With
Yes.
um
Yes.
my nieces and my nephews, and or a niece and a nephew I have
Yes.
that
And
relationship
then
with.
the great nieces and nephews.
And the great nieces and great nephew, I would imagine it's similar, to
It
having
is similar.
your own child.
It is similar.
Um,
Is it the same? No, but similar. It's adjacent.
Adjacent, yes,
It's
it's
adjacent.
cousinish,
Yes. Yes.
and trying to maintain your identity and your ideals and your mm,
Yes.
I don't know, whatever word you want to use for that.
And
Mhm.
allowing the other person to have their identity without stepping on their toes,
Mhm.
without telling them, because really this is one thing, certainly as a parent, and you can tell me if this fits into the adjacent.
Okay.
um of course, when they're little, you're trying to teach them, you're teaching them all sorts of things, right? You're teaching about their only access to the world is through you. That's it.
Mhm.
Their home life is their world. They really don't think outside that, whatever.
Mhm.
And you're trying to, everyone has their own personality, their own little identity, what they like, what they don't like, etc., and sort of maneuvering that and allowing them to do that. But you have the guardrails. You have to have
Mhm.
guardrails or your kid, like you can't just go running through a parking lot because you want to. Sorry.
Right.
No. Yeah. However, then when they
Until
become,
you wriggle your hand away and you take off, and that's exactly where you go, is right out into the middle of the
yes,
parking lot.
yes. And then when they become adult, this was for me I don't know if it was the hardest part, but so as they get older, you start letting the leash out a little more, a little more, a little more. As teenagers, it's another time of weirdness because they think they know everything, but they don't. And you can't just let them run amok, yet you have to allow them more than you ever have before because
Mhm.
they're becoming adults and you want them to know the world.
Mhm.
And then, like when both of our boys went off to college, that was really, so college is really good for not just the kids. And it's not the book learning. What they learn, like going away to a university and living there.
Life experience.
Oh, and it's that nice container in those years that is so rocky, from 18 to 22. Like those are, you're kind of an adult, but you're not. So it's really that container. Anyway, but learning how to then let go and be, see them as adults and see them as, that's not my son anymore. I mean, they're always my children, they're always my sons, but to really sort of go to that place of, Um, man, that's it. Son of a gun. So learning my own identity through that. I'm no longer mom. I mean, I am mom, um, but really just in name. Like I'm now Pam. and they are, sort of navigating through that can be really rough. Wow. Sorry, everyone. I just had some enlightenment just
I
came
love it when
there.
that happens, and it happens often on our podcasts.
On our, yes, all the time.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And no, that
Yeah.
clarity that you just got,
Yeah.
that's not adjacent to anything.
I wonder if it will be now a little bit with your great niece because she's a teenager, but I don't know. But
Um,
yeah, there certainly.
well, she's a teenager now,
Mm-hmm.
and Auntie is just an old lady.
Oh, yes.
Auntie is just an
Yeah.
old lady.
Yes. I'm waiting
Mm-hmm.
to see if I look forward to seeing if that comes around because kids go through that too. Like when my kids go off to college and you don't know. But I mean, every teenager thinks they know everything.
Mm-hmm. I have every faith
Uh-huh.
that it will.
Ah.
I have
It's
every faith.
it's an awesome lesson. It's also, I would think, for the kids too, to look at their parents differently, you know,
Mm-hmm.
to sort of there's some because they want to be adults. And both of my children are married now, so
Mm-hmm.
they have to stand on their own and not, but
Mm-hmm.
okay, whoo, that was some enlightenment there. So what I am, and I'm just going to speak for myself, you can speak
Yeah.
for you. Right now, Mari-Lyn, well, for months, Mari-Lyn and I have each really been on our own little expansion or evolution of
I think evolution.
personal growth. Yes, I hope so. Personal growth that has nothing to do with each other.
Mm-hmm.
And me going to Morocco for 3 weeks was that was like the topper on the cake. Like that was so spiritual for me. And then you, which I think I can
Mm-hmm.
say, because you had your own spiritual sort of time with it when I was gone.
Absolutely. Yes.
And
Mm-hmm.
now, so before we started recording, well, and I mean, days before too, but certainly before we were talking about how do I now stand in my own this newfound identity that I have, and it really feels different. And
Mine is absolutely different.
yes,
Mm-hmm.
and then share the stage with you, share that same space with you, and not lose my
Mm-hmm.
identity.
Mm-hmm.
Because really, for myself, you and I I mean, we share this job, this one voice, this way we put this information out into the world with. Mostly it happens with YouTube because we each have our own separate practice. Sometimes we share
Right.
for students, but we don't do it together. We don't do that
Right.
together. We have
Right. Our one-on-ones are seriously me and someone, Pam and someone.
yes, and we don't really even talk to each other about those. I mean, that's what happens in our sessions. Our one-on-ones are personal to us and to our client, and we don't share that information. We're not constantly talking or something. And now, how do I navigate? That's a question. How do I navigate this now? I have found a new piece of myself
Mm-hmm.
that I did not have before. I'm very excited about it. Also, a little anxious about
Mm-hmm.
it. How is it going to be received? Will anyone even notice? But I do.
Right? There is that, isn't there?
Yeah. I'm sure
Will
there are
will
people going,
will
what the hell are
anybody
you talking
even
about?
notice?
Yeah.
As I'm like, oh my God, finally, I've known for so long that this person was there.
Yes.
And yeah, there is that thought is how am I going to represent myself? And is anybody
Yeah.
going to notice? And am I, have I really changed?
Yes. And then on top of that, how are you going to do that in this relationship with me?
Absolutely.
And
Hmm.
that's a okay. So
That's truthing right there.
that's truthing.
That
Yes,
is
that is
truthing.
truthing. That is major truthing right there.
Major truthing.
Okay,
Hmm.
my pen's not working. Stop it. Okay. Um, yes. And because we do this together, like when people think of TCS, they don't just think of Pam or Mari-Lyn. They think of Pam and Mari-Lyn.
Pam and
Mari-Lyn
Mari-Lyn.
and Pam. They think of this partnership that we
Hmm.
have. The clearings we do, we do things on here together. We do videos together. We do clearings together. We do this podcast together. We share our life.
Hmm.
And at the same time, we're each our individual. So yeah, yeah, that's what's been weighing on me is sort of weighing on me. I think that's what came right before we got on here
Hmm.
was like this, whoa, you have to
Hmm.
now take this new personal found identity that I have and stand next to Mari-Lyn and not give that to you because we have been codependent.
We have. We have. So I can say that, yes, it's weighed on me. It's weighed on me for a while. It took me months of transitioning
Oof, yes.
and fear, that fear of how can I how can I allow myself to expand
Mhm.
and go out there and stand without hiding behind Pam,
Yeah,
because I've done that in the past.
absolutely.
I've allowed myself to be small and
Yes,
just
yes,
wait for you to ask me my opinion, or just
yes,
waiting.
yes.
And there is a part of me that it was easier, it was more comfortable
Yep.
to stay there.
Mhm.
And you know, I'm grateful that I finally said, okay, what am I doing?
Yes,
What am I doing?
yes.
I am not doing myself any favors. I am not doing Pam any
No.
favors. I'm not doing anybody any favors here.
Mm-mm.
And I finally started to allow the transition to happen. And once I started to allow,
Yeah.
boom, 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 the clarity and the
Yes.
understanding and things. And here I am feeling like this person that has always been there. And now I'm going, oh shit.
Yes.
Now what do I do?
Yeah. Yeah.
Now what do I do?
Yes.
It's frightening.
It is frightening.
Frightening.
And I would like to hear from people, or I would like those of you listening to, we'd like to get you to think, how do you stand in your own identity in your relationships and be honest with yourself?
Honest.
Because
Ooh.
I can totally hear some of you saying, "Oh, I know who I am in my relationship, and I have a." Yet you're like super codependent or whatever. Like that's an extreme, but I have thought many times that I was my own person, or I have but I would still, and I'll use my marriage as an example. I used to be very codependent for years, especially when I was a stay-at-home mom. I mean, I had my identity as a mom, blah, blah, blah. But
But is it fair to say that you were codependent in that with that identity?
yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
But there was this false feeling of, because I was home all day with the kids, take them to school, volunteer at the school, do all the things that you do when you're a stay-at-home mom, and there's a real independent feeling to that. And my husband and I always sort of, he didn't bother me or tell me how to do my job, and I didn't bother him and tell him how to do his job. Like, that's the way other than when he was home, we talked about everything, and there were obviously shared things, and he's a wonderful father. But I just mean day-to-day stuff. He wasn't telling me how to get stuff done or whatever.
Right.
And I certainly wasn't calling him at the office and saying, hey, you should be doing that different. So there was this real false feeling of, I am super independent here. I have my own identity. So maybe that's the difference. I was independent in that way with them, but
Yeah.
I have an identity. I didn't have my own, not like I do today, really standing in my own authority and my own ownership of my thoughts, my feelings, my words, my actions.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm still figuring that out.
Yeah.
Growing up,
Mm-hmm.
uh, you know, women graduated high school,
Mm-hmm.
they got married,
Yep.
they had a family, they
Yep.
raised their family,
And really,
and
there's only
and
like,
then what's after that? I don't know.
right, there's only a few years between us, but it was still that way for you, and it was lightening up and it's just in that few years, it
Mm-hmm.
was changing. But still, even my generation, women went to college to get their MRS degree.
Mm.
They went to meet their husband. They
Okay.
they wanted to become a Mrs.
Okay.
But
Um,
more so in your generation
yes.
was still that.
Yep. It was that way. I did get married. We did not have a family.
Mhm.
My identity for many of my years married, 40 of them. Most of my identity was based on what I believed other people thought I should be.
Yes.
Hmm.
Hmm. Sadly.
What I expected other people expected of me.
Oof.
And I tell you what, expectation is fucked up.
Yes, ma'am.
It really is.
Yes.
Now, I tried to put some of that expectation onto my husband. He has none.
Right.
If there is such a thing as not having an expectation, it's my husband.
So that's something that he mastered that he didn't
Mhm.
have to work on in this lifetime. Let me
Yep.
just say, you know what I there's yeah.
I, for the longest time, never believed him.
Hmm.
Never believed him. Not possible.
Which I
So,
think is pretty normal, because if we don't believe, then no one else believes. Or if I
yeah,
don't think that, then no one else thinks that. That I don't, if this is the way I'm feeling, then everyone else feels that.
everyone else
Yes.
feels that way.
Yes. Yeah.
Uh, Jiminy Christmas.
Yes.
If you are one of these people that carries expectations that you expect other people to have of you,
Right.
oh, get yourself some healing done. I don't care how you do it,
Yes.
but get over it.
Yes.
Find a way out of it,
Yes.
because holy crap,
Mm-hmm.
to be at the, I mean, it's fabulous
Mm-hmm.
because at this point in my life, I have the freedom to really explore who I am. There's
Yes.
no limits on me,
No.
right?
No.
Well, there's never been limits on me.
Right. Right. No.
So I don't even know what I'm saying now. I'm just, you know,
They're just
trying
talking
to
about
trying to get out of my own embarrassment for holding myself back for so
it.
long.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to say we all do. It just looks different for everyone.
Yeah.
It
We do.
really does. Because and it might not be like we know women who maybe not the same women, but we do know women who've always had like this amazing career, like forever, and they are solid in that. And they know who they are and they're marching through and it's great. But you take a look at their relationships and wah wah. You know what I mean? And then there are other people who it's the opposite. Relationships, they do great, amazing. But then like career or whatever, like there's so many different, you know,
Yeah.
areas in our life, but those are just two of them where it just, wah wah, it doesn't. So we all have those areas in our life where we're kind of codependent, where we're not confident in ourselves, that we kind of just have to just take a deep breath and, oh, okay, let's do this or
Mhm.
whatever that is. And this is an area for both of us, though. We both have that in different ways, but we both are really learning who we are, what our identity
Identity
truly
is.
is.
And for me, this is across the board.
Yeah.
This
Well,
is in every area
okay.
of my
Well,
life.
this level of finding ourselves is in every area.
It is in
It really is.
every area.
Yes.
I am going to boast for a minute though,
Ooh.
because
Yes, please.
I did two things in the past 2 days that, oh, it feels so good.
Ah.
It is totally stepping into me.
Mm-hmm.
The first thing I did, I found a disc golf clinic that's being offered um, for women by women,
Mm-hmm.
that's going to be here in Portland.
Mm-hmm.
And I looked at it and I went, ooh, I have to think about registering for that. Maybe I'll do it tomorrow. Now it's limited space. Old me would have waited
Uh-huh.
and then waited. And
And
I would have waited until
secretly
it filled
hoped,
up.
yes,
And
secretly
then
hoped
I'd
that
have
there
been
wasn't
so
space
mad.
left.
So
Yeah.
mad. Nope. Registered.
Good for you.
Then I was dumb and went to bed and I'm laying there and I'm so excited and I can't sleep. But anyway. Okay. Yesterday, I have known about this women's league for disc golf since last year. Last year did not have the confidence to do it. Um, I was too new. There was no way. Last year was not. Mm-mm. Well, notice came out. They're starting up the end of this month, and I I saw the notice a week or two ago,
Mm-hmm.
and I kept putting it off and putting it off, and I'm like, I'm sitting there yesterday, and I saw it again, and I thought, what am I waiting for?
Yes.
I have to sign up to go.
Mm-hmm.
Just because I sign up doesn't mean I have to go every week during the season.
Right. Right. You still have
And
choices within that. But
I
if you
still
don't
have
sign up,
choices.
you have no choice. There,
Exactly.
there are no choices.
Well, my choice has been made.
Right. Right.
Meh. And so I looked at it and I'm like, okay, well, how long does this even go? The last 3 weeks I will be in Arkansas. So I'm not even going to get to go for the last 3 weeks.
Ah.
And I said to myself, Mari-Lyn, you know, old you would have used that right
As an
there as an
excuse
excuse.
not to do it.
Went to the page and clicked going.
Woohoo! Good for you. Yes.
Yep.
Good for you.
So, two things
Mm-hmm.
that I love,
Mm-hmm.
I'm doing for me that do not involve my husband.
Yes. Good for you. Yes.
Feels so good.
So
And
good.
he was so happy. He was
I'll bet.
so happy I did it.
Yes. Both of our husbands are such cheerleaders for us. They really
Huge
are.
cheerleaders. Mm-hmm.
They really truly are. I know I'm a cheerleader for we're both cheerleaders for them,
Yeah.
but to they truly are for us. Like every time I sort of shift and really stand in who I am and really have that, I swear my husband just falls in love with me again. You know what
Mm.
I'm like?
Mhm.
If and love gets deeper, and my love for him gets deeper the more I find me too. It
Mhm.
really does the way that works.
Mhm.
Um,
Absolutely. There's a level of yes, the love, but there's a level of, for me, a level of an appreciation.
yes, yes, and I'm going to say pride.
Sure.
I'm going to
Mhm.
say pride as well. Just being proud of this amazing person that I live with, and him toward me too, which is really an uncomfortable feeling at first when he's like really proud of me, when he just
Mm.
sort of looks at me in that way of, wow, I'm married to her. It's really kind of unnerving at first. Yeah.
That's not, that's not in my husband's wheelhouse. So
Okay. He does it in a different way. So his wheelhouse just looks different.
it is different.
Because I
Yes,
have heard, even with
it is
what you
different.
just said, I know. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
So,
It is.
um, first of all, before we move on, hello
Yeah.
everyone. Welcome to ECS. Welcome to the Conscious Spirit Podcast.
Yeah.
We're so
I'm
glad
Mary
you're
Lynn.
here. And I'm Pam. And
Yeah.
and we're here every week. We love these conversations. We just sort of talk about those things in our life that relate to everyone. And we try to do that. So welcome and welcome back.
Glad
And
you are here. I
yeah,
love these. You know, back when we had a space, a physical
yes.
building with walls and everything, and we would sit there and we would have these conversations, and all of a sudden 2 or 3 hours would go by,
Yes.
and I missed those so much.
Yeah.
And
This
that's what these are.
yes. Yeah.
That's what these are.
One of the funniest things is on the day that we do a podcast, that night you and I will still be talking. And my husband will come home and he's like, what could you possibly still have to talk about? What is happening now? There's always more to talk about.
Always.
Um,
Well, spirit is never at a loss for words.
no, no.
Mm-mm.
Sometimes it's not words you want to hear, but there's never
Very
a
true.
loss.
Many times.
Yeah.
And that's part of the reason why we have so much to talk about, because
Yes.
we're like, "Oh,
Yes. Because, by the way, everyone, if you didn't, we are in our channels. We're channeling spirit as we're doing this. It's more of it's a little, so whether you're channeling for another person, you're channeling uh, for a clearing or for a reading or for an energy healing or whatever the reason is that you're in your channel, that purpose is coming through. So you're sitting there. So we really are in our channels when we do this.
mhm.
And one of the things that you shared something personal for you, I would like to share something personal that
Yeah,
sort of my step, so this new identity, really stepping into me, and part of it is to not I'm not as self-conscious as I was. And in Morocco, in the town of Chefchaouen, that's where my beautiful daughter-in-law lives and grew up. My son lives there, obviously. Um, so the wedding's there. So you're already married by the time the actual wedding comes along. They don't, it's not all in, like here we have the one day where you get married in that dinner. This is you get married and then you have a big 3 day extravaganza celebration. So, um, one of the things they do, and hopefully when I put my little video together, you'll see this, is the the bride to be and her like two besties. They're really not a maid of honor type situation, but it's kind of a there. I really don't know exactly why each person is there. So I would tell you, but I don't. Anyway, there's a group of women. This case, there were like, I don't know, 10. maybe more. And we actually walk her through the streets. And there's this beautiful song that they sing, which I don't know what it is. Um, I don't know the words, I don't know that language. But you walk her through the street, and then you go to the hammam, which is a spa, which is like a spa. So you go in, and it's just the whole day is just about women, it's just about the bride, and you get naked, and you go into this room, and there's steam and water, and it's really hot. It's like a sauna, yet there's water involved, and you scrub your skin, so you're scrubbing all the dead skin off and everything. You have you The women do wear underwear. You don't have to, but everyone wore underwear. And then you scrub each other. You have scrub brushes, and you have this sticky, gooey stuff you put on first, and then you scrub. Well, I was not looking forward to that. That is so out of my comfort zone to be naked with a bunch of women. So out of my comfort zone. So not for them.
Yeah.
This culture that they have there is no judgment. They're not looking at each other. There's all ages are in there at the same time. It was so spiritual for me. So I was the last one in. Everyone changed in this one room, and then they all go in, and I was like, oh God, okay, 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 I can do this. Pam, you can do this. And I got undressed, took a deep breath, and then I walked into the hammam, and 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 it is not like here where women are judging each other. Women are looking at you up and down. People, you know, it's just not that at all. And my
Wow.
daughter-in-law had she has you sit on a little mat, and she had that ready for me, sitting right next to her and her sister. Her mother had too many things to do that day for the wedding, and couldn't join us. But her aunts were there, her cousins were there, all these women. I think the youngest, I don't know, was maybe 14, and I think I may have been the oldest. And no one, you don't even, it just isn't. You're just not looking at each other in that judgmental, oh, what does she look like? What does she have? What does she? Not at all. And they were all shapes and sizes and ages. And then they would just come over, and of course, I don't speak the language, but you can understand when they come over with this big loofah. It's like, oh, okay, I guess you're going to, and they, and they would just scrub each other. I mean, it was
Wow.
just, yeah. And then they
Huh.
like scrubbing my back and getting all that net. There was a lot of dead skin and stuff. And then they have these big buckets of really hot water that from the hot springs. So they come right out of the earth, hot,
Mm-hmm.
warm, come over, and they dump it on you. And then you'd wash your hair, and they were washing each other's hair. And it was the most,
Wow.
I know, it was, yeah, I don't even think I've told you some,
No, you haven't
but
told
not
me
all.
about this.
It was, that was probably the most, I mean, like I woke up, my soul opened, and I want to cry right now. It was so amazing to sit there with all these women of all ages, and just not be self-conscious at all. Because we can all get undressed and look at ourselves and point out everything we don't like about the way we look, right? That's
Mhm.
just they don't do that. It's just not a thing. It was so amazing. And that was the thing I was the most afraid of. It was like, oh my God,
Wow.
I have to go do this with all
It
these people.
sounds amazing.
It
Yeah.
does. And everyone is so friendly and kind and warm. And everyone, we were all laughing. And because some of the things, even though my daughter-in-law, of course, speaks her English is very good. And then she had one of her friends who spoke some, but you can still kind of figure out what people are saying. And we're laughing. And yeah, it was amazing. I can't even tell you how big of an experience that was for me.
Wow.
Yes. And
Wow.
I hardly wore any makeup when I was there. Here, you can't really tell on camera, because cameras there's sort of the filter action happening, whether you want it to or not. Like I don't have all the filters on, it just does it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, as you know, I don't wear much makeup anymore. And I always wore a ton. Half the time I don't wear any, other than my eyebrows and my lipstick. But I'm addicted to having something on my lips. So that's so yeah, that really that was an awakening for me.
Yeah.
If that word is
I get it.
right there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's amazing.
it was. And
Really amazing.
I found a part of myself that I didn't know was there. And I was like, okay, whew. Like yeah. So the
Yeah.
identity piece, that was a new piece of my identity. That was that I've brought back with me. And I guess I haven't been able to talk about it fully until just now. Because it was really personal.
Mm-hmm.
And
I get that.
I was still sort of shifting with it. And so thank you everyone for listening
Yeah.
to that story. It was really, really nice. It was
It
really special.
it feels and it sounds like one of those really profound
Yes,
experiences that even in the moment we're not realizing how profound it is.
100%.
Hmm.
And how do you put words to that?
I don't
You
know.
don't.
Mm-mm.
It's hard. It's really hard. So I can obviously I just said what happened, but
Right.
that's not there's such a meaning to behind that I have no words for.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was incredible. It was um yeah. So yeah,
That's awesome.
very awesome. And people think, because it's a Muslim country, people think women are so because what you see the bad side. Every religion has sort of that icky side. They have, like, you see the Sharia law and these horrible, the way women are treated in some of these countries that are Muslim, and it's just degrading and horrifying. That is not the case in most Muslim countries, and Morocco is one of those. You don't have to wear hijab, you can if or not, you can dress the way you want, you can, like, it's very free for women. Most and the women wear hijabs because they want to, because it makes them feel, and I'll tell you, there's you don't have to worry about having a bad hair day. You just put your hijab on over your hair. I did not wear one, but my daughter-in-law hardly ever wears one. She does. Kind of depends on how she feels, but I think part of
Yeah.
it is the bad hair day. I'm having a bad hair day, so she puts it on. Yeah, it was life-changing. It really was. Yeah. So,
Fabulous. Yeah.
whoo. Yeah. Wow. Again, thank you for allowing me to share that.
Yeah.
I'm
Thank you for sharing it.
yeah,
Yeah. Amazing. Really, really amazing.
life changing, life changing.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. Woo!
Mm.
So identity. So now, how do I take this newfound identity that I'm really kind of still shifting through, I think,
Mm-hmm.
still coming to terms with,
Mm-hmm.
and then stand with so just speaking of the relationship I have with you, then how do I stand there and still be who I am in this newfound place
Mm-hmm.
is a little mind-boggling.
So what's really interesting
Yeah.
is, in a sense,
Mm.
we have to get used to standing in our new identity
Yes.
next to a person we don't know.
I honestly didn't think of it that way.
It just
Yes.
came. It just came.
One of those, and not only do we not know, but we do know. And
We, yes,
and then get used to the other person's shift,
yes,
right?
yes.
Because if you were brand spanking new, I never knew, like, okay, well, I'm just
There's
getting to know who you
right.
are.
There's
Yeah,
no expectation. There's
right,
no memory. There's
right.
no wounding.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah,
Excuse
yeah,
me.
yeah. Yes. Yes.
You can't have a really strong bond with someone without there being wounding.
Right. Right.
You,
No.
that's how bonding
Yes.
happens.
Yes.
And now we get to experience
Yeah.
our own beautiful,
Yes.
unique selves
Mhm.
and figure out how that's going to work with the other unique,
Yes.
beautiful new self.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
And
And how is everyone else going to, like you said, how is everyone else going to take that or see us or accept it or not? Yeah.
or are they going to look at us and go, "What are they talking
What
about?
the
What?"
fuck? Who are these crazy women? Yes. Yes.
I don't get it.
Yes.
Um,
Yeah. And really,
I
I've been
yeah.
so busy since I've been back I've been back for a couple weeks. I have been so busy. I really haven't even had time to think about this yet. I
Mm-hmm.
like today is the first day that I've really been able to really sit and think about it. My husband and I haven't even spent that much time together. Our other son who lives here that has a wife and my
Excuse
grandchildren,
me. Ooh.
our grandchildren, just moved. And so been helping them move and there's a big right?
That's
Uh,
a process.
and the paint we had to get some things painted and there's a couple carpets in their bedroom, get those cleaned. There's just stuff I've just been and then helping with the kids so they can get like there really has I haven't had a time to rest until just now. And thank you, Mari-Lyn, for being
Mm-hmm.
so supportive through all of this. You've been really supportive. Thank you.
Oh,
You're such a good friend.
well, you're welcome.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
I mean, you really have. Like, I have been on the go. So I've been back,
Mm-hmm.
but only kind of half back because I've been so busy. Plus, with,
Mm-hmm.
students and clients that I had to not, I had to put off for 3 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
So my life has been busy catching
Your
up.
life has been busy.
And yours has too.
There is
Mm-hmm.
so you oh, how do I even want to say this? I'm sorry. I'm struggling because there is an element of family
Mm-hmm.
that it's been a while since you have immersed yourself in family, in your personal
Yes.
family.
Yes.
It's been a while since you've done that.
I did. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I can't do that. If
Right.
my family, they live across the country.
Yes. Yes.
And so I can't do that. So um for me, I don't even give it another thought.
Yeah.
Family comes first. I hate that phrase.
But it's
Family
true.
comes first.
But it's true.
But there are times when it's absolutely the way it is.
Yes.
And yes, I'm part of your family, and
Yes.
I know that.
Yes.
But there is an element of there is no choice to be made.
Right.
There is no choice to be made.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
I understand that.
And I didn't think of it that way because I still get to be the grandma or Nona in my case,
Mm-hmm.
a couple times a week. But that was just I'm hanging out with the kids. It's not immersed in the whole family.
Right.
And then my son who he's lived out of the country for years. He kind of comes back for a few months and goes and
Mm-hmm.
and now he's married and he has his own family. They don't have children yet, but he has his wife, which is the start of his family, plus her
Right.
family. They live there with her family, or not like in the same apartment, but they live in this
Right.
town. He has a family there. Yeah, been a lot of family
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah, I
Yeah.
really have. Oh,
Yeah.
Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
Yeah. Woo, man,
Yeah.
it's been a busy one. And so now I really get to, so today's really the start of just Pam, finding out Pam and working with this newfound. It was that wasn't the only spiritual thing from Morocco, but that was the biggest, like that cracked me open. Yes, it was a beautiful experience.
Fabulous.
Yes, and coming.
Yeah. Sounds fabulous.
Yes, it was. Well, even I remember when I told you that I had that to do because we had talked before, and I was like,
Right.
oh, I don't want to go to the spa. And you're like, oh, I would love to do that. And you love hot tubs, you love all that
Right.
stuff. Um,
I don't think I realized what an intimate setting that was.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it's a room. It'd be like going into your living room, Yeah, and
Yeah.
yeah, no, very intimate, very. And women don't really know that the way like boys like right my kids always played sports. They were big into sports. And the locker room, they weren't embarrassed at all. They'd all walk around naked and play slap ass or whatever the hell they do in the locker room. And but they're kind of used to that more than women are. Of course, we had locker rooms and we would change, but women, I don't know. I remember the girls, you almost kind of stay in your little locker and you kind of like change real
Yes.
quick or whatever.
Yes.
Boys aren't like that. They're like, whoa, they let it all hang out and it's not the same as it is for us.
Mm-hmm.
It's very
Well,
different.
there's a level of, we are taught. I don't know if this is true now. I think this is changing for American women, but we were taught to be almost ashamed of ourselves,
Yes.
ashamed of our bodies,
Yes.
ashamed. We needed to protect
Yes.
ourselves,
Yes.
and that was taught through shame.
Yes. And when you just said that, now, as we know, girls and just women can really dress pretty scantily
Mm-hmm.
these days, in public. However, that doesn't mean they're that free completely naked.
Correct.
They're still covered, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and so there's that judgment thing because I don't care
Yes.
what anyone says. Just for those of you, especially if you men are listening, um, women dress for other women. We don't dress for men. You're
Boy, howdy.
right. You
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yes.
When
Yes.
you are dressing because so and so is going to be there, and
Yep.
I want to look better than so and so,
Yep.
or I want to be the best looking broad in the room. Whatever it is.
Yep.
You're dressing for other women. We are not
Yep.
dressing for men. We let
Yep.
men giving us attention was a bonus, but really because so and so can see it.
Absolutely.
Because so and so doesn't have a man over there talking to her. So
Absolutely.
it's a whole women do. So women are so incredibly judgmental with each other.
Mm-hmm.
So incredibly. And yes, and
And
you and I were raised in that. They sort of called it modest, I guess, but really it was shame-based.
it was shame-based.
It wasn't modesty, it was shame-based.
It was shame.
And
Mm-hmm.
I grew up that way.
Mm-hmm.
And so to sort of let loose like that was incredible. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. I know. Just wild. Just wild.
Yeah. Awesome. 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 Awesome.
Yes.
I don't know what other word to use.
I don't, me either. No.
That word is not, it's an understatement.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So finding ourselves, finding that new identity that has really come through hard work for both of us. A year ago, I don't know if I would have done that. I probably would have said, no, I'm gonna, I'll go with my daughter-in-law's mom. I'll go help, even though I don't speak the language, I'll go help her with the wedding, or I would have found some way
I
to
can
not,
I can see that happening. Yeah.
and maybe not even just a year ago, a few months ago, something. It would have been, so I've done a lot of healing to get here.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so I guess I would say to everyone listening, go out and do something you're uncomfortable with. Something like that. Not just, and even like you were uncomfortable making that appointment. Like just,
Yes.
in my mind, I can see you going, okay, deep breath. I'm just going to do it. Like before I can talk myself out of it. Like
And
hitting the button.
the first time I did it,
Mm-hmm.
it's a form you have to fill out, and it's on the phone, and it didn't take.
Interesting. Spirit was being sneaky.
So I had to do it again. I
Yes.
had to commit.
Yes. Yes.
Yep.
Instead of saying, because that would, for me, I would have said, oh, Spirit must not want me to do this.
I'm not supposed to do this. Yeah. Yeah.
Isn't
So
different. There are times when Spirit does that.
yeah, when you try it, like you're on your 10th time and it's not going through,
Yeah.
sister, it's time to give it up.
Yeah. Yes.
It's time
Yes.
to stop and go, maybe I'm not supposed to do this.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm with you. I encourage you to go do something you're uncomfortable with
Mm-hmm.
that you want.
Yes.
Not just because it makes you uncomfortable.
No.
Something you want
Yes.
that you question.
And,
Should I do it? Should I?
Yeah.
Blah, blah, blah.
And in my situation, I had to say, which I don't think I said here, I had to say, I'm doing this for my daughter-in-law. I'm doing this for my son, really. Get the hell over yourself. Get to know, this was part of her ritual. This was part of her
Right.
her life. This is, get the hell over yourself. And I'd forgotten about that until just now, standing there, getting undressed, trying not to panic, and putting it in perspective. Pam, this is not about you. Get the fuck over it. This has nothing to fucking do with you, but it's certainly going to have something to do with you if you walk out and don't do it.
True.
But
True.
this is about her, and she was so happy that I did it. She knew it was going to come.
Oh, I bet. Yeah. Yeah. I bet.
Mm-hmm.
And, our experiences are pretty polar opposite.
Yes.
Because mine was absolutely 100% about me.
Yes.
For me.
Yeah.
About me. And it was kind of still life-changing.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. On a different level. I mean, it's so different. And yet,
but it isn't.
But it isn't.
Right.
It is, and it isn't.
Right.
Yeah.
And ultimately, I did it for myself. Really. I mean, yes. I talked because this is for her. But really, it was for me, and that came really clear. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yes, they're very different experiences, but it was hard for both of us. That was a hard sell. that was a rough one. Yeah. So we do encourage you to take that step, that thing that, is it really something you don't want to do, or is fear getting in your way? If it's just fear, that means it's time to get rid of that. Like, fear's a liar. We all know that. Something is telling us not to do it because we want to be in our comfort zone. So really, that's what it is, right? Because both of us, it's comfort zone.
Yes.
I want to stay comfortable and not do this.
Right. And for me, the really sickening part is the comfort piece is twofold, right? It's not doing it.
Right?
Then
Oh,
the ability to be victim when it
yes.
got filled. Oh, I changed my mind. Oh, I can't go. God dang, why
Oh,
didn't I do this
uh-huh.
sooner? Now
Uh-huh.
I can't.
Yes. Yes. Hoo,
Oh,
hoo, 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 hoo.
play my little violin.
Right. That's right. Yes.
And I knew, I knew this was something I wanted to do.
Mm-hmm.
And I knew if I missed out, I would be crushed. I also knew I did not want to be that victim. I did not want to go to that place of,
You go, girl.
oh, why didn't I do that?
Right. And what's like, what the hell is it going to hurt? In both of those, either situation, you can look at it and go, really? You going to die from this? Like,
Right.
is your whole life going to crumble because you do this? Like, what the hell? Seriously,
Yeah.
get over yourself
Yeah.
and just fucking do it. Just stop. Yes. And so maybe that's a way to look at it. It's just like, really, what are the consequences? Oh, there you go. What are the consequences if you don't do it? Or if you do?
Oh, if you
Look at
do
both.
it,
What is the consequence if you do it?
what is the,
No. Yeah.
okay.
What is the consequence?
Typically, we think of consequences as being bad,
Yes. Yes.
a punishment.
What are the, yes, yes.
In this case, and I'm so glad you used that word,
Thank you,
because
Spirit.
many, many times we don't do things because the consequences are going to be
Yes.
an actual
Yes.
reward. It's going to be growth. It's going to be education. It's
Yes.
going to be connection.
Yes.
You know, that is
Yes.
the biggest consequence of
Yes.
what I'm going to do
Yes.
is connection.
Yes.
Ooh, same
Ooh.
with you.
Yes.
The
Oh,
biggest consequence of
yes.
what you did was
Yes.
connection.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
And I am so tired of making decisions based on
Oh,
fear of that low vibrational consequence,
yes.
or
Yes.
making that decision of no,
Mm-hmm.
so I can suffer the consequence.
Yes. There's always a payoff.
Yeah,
I think we
suffering.
talked last week, wasn't there, about payoff? We do things, so we tend to think that in the negative too, right? Well, I didn't do it because there's some sort of payoff for me not doing it. And that's usually the want want. That's the
I get to be the victim. I get to
yes.
say it was me.
Well, look at the payoff we both got from just getting the fuck over ourselves and doing
Yeah.
it anyway.
Yeah.
Just saying,
I am so excited. I am so excited. I am still, oh my God, what am I going to wear? Well, who cares what you wear? And it's going to be the end of May. You're going to have to wait and see what the weather's doing.
Yep.
Is it going to rain? I don't care if it rains. I'm going. Rain or shine, hail, snow, sleet. I don't care.
You
I
go
will be
now, no
there.
matter the weather. You and your husband go
We do.
no matter the weather.
You know, they cancel. I might still go just to make sure that.
Yes. And I can tell you the payoff in this situation was phenomenal.
Oh, man.
And a payoff that I did not expect. The consequence was I found a piece of me that I didn't even know existed.
I was just going to say the biggest connection that you made was with yourself.
Yes.
And there is nothing better. There is nothing better. Because I was going to say the only thing better is that connection to spirit.
Yep.
And I was corrected. Because when we connect with ourselves,
yes.
that is connecting to spirit. Because that is a part of who we are.
Yes. Yes.
We are so multifaceted. There are
It,
so many pieces and parts of us.
it cracked open my soul. I'm telling you, it was just,
Yeah.
yes, to
Oh,
be
God.
that, I know, to be that
Yeah.
vulnerable. Now, even though, again, our situations were different, but it was still very vulnerable for both of us, just
Yes.
in a very different way. To stand in that vulnerability, you know you're doing the right thing when you feel vulnerability.
Yes.
That type of vulnerability. I'm not talking about walking through a dark alley and blah blah blah. That's not what I'm
No.
talking about. The
No.
emotional rawness of it
Yes.
and doing it. Oh, I can hear my dad.
Doing it anyway.
Yes, do it anyway.
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
I have to say he's so proud of me,
Absolutely.
and I haven't felt him until
Absolutely.
just now over this situation. Yeah. Um, but he is part of spirit. Like spirit is proud of me. I am proud of me. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
sure that's what you feel too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I am proud of you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That was rough. And the payoff was amazing. Or as you would say,
Yeah.
amaze balls.
Amazeballs.
Yes.
Yeah. You
Yes.
know, that word amazeballs. I was working at Joann's Fabric.
Oh, which is no longer. Yes.
It's, yeah, they're still there. I was at one yesterday.
Oh.
They're selling the fixtures, everything. They're going out of business. Anyway, I am I'm helping a woman. I don't even remember what it was that she was looking for,
Mm-hmm.
and helped her find it. And she's telling me this story around whatever it is that she was buying. And I said, "Oh man, that is amazeballs." Eyes got, I don't even know. Her eyes got so big. And then we just stood there and laughed. He said, "I've never heard that, but I love it. Oh, I love it. And I'm
Mhm.
going to use it."
Feel
And
free. Use
it's,
it.
yeah,
Yes.
I was so embarrassed when I heard those words come out of my mouth.
Oh.
And yet,
Yes.
that is so me.
Yes. So you. Oh, 100%. Yes. And why is being you embarrassing to you?
Well, because it makes people uncomfortable.
Right. And
That's what I learned
yes,
at a
yes.
young age.
And
Me
yes.
being me makes people uncomfortable.
And what we learned, certainly you in this situation, is what it made your mom uncomfortable, or it made your dad uncomfortable, or and so we took that as, oh, it makes everyone else uncomfortable being
Oh
me.
no, it made everyone uncomfortable. Oh no.
And you know what? Damn it. Because
Yeah.
although that's what you came to learn. Yes, 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 yes. I get all of that. But had you been able to just express yourself in that way,
Yeah.
yes. But now you get to do it. You get to do it now. You get to do it now.
Yeah.
Amaze balls your way through life now. Yes. Woo. All right.
Woo.
I kind of feel done. Do you feel done, or do you feel like you have more?
No, I think amaze balls is a great way.
I do too. I do too. Thank you for, if
I love
you
it.
haven't
Yeah.
already subscribed. Please do like,
You know,
leave your comment.
I'm gonna throw this out there. We are sneaking up. We're not really close to 500
No.
subscribers, but that is a goal that we have set,
Yes.
and we want to hit 500 subscribers. And
Yes.
I've said this before, we're not looking for the numbers.
Right.
We're looking for our community. So
Yes.
if you watch us and you haven't subscribed, please do. It's going to help us, and you want to help us. Of course you want to
And
help us.
help you.
And
Yeah.
it'll help you. Yeah, of course it will,
Absolutely.
because you'll feel good.
Yeah.
and it'll baseball.
You'll fill them baseballs. Yes.
Yeah. So
Whew.
anyway,
Yes.
yeah,
This was fabulous.
it was
Thank
fabulous.
you.
Go out and be fabulous.
Go out. That's what I want to say.
Yeah.
Go out and be amazeballs.
Yep.
Yeah, just do
Absolutely.
it. Do it anyway.
Do it anyway.
If that fear pops up, just push it aside and do it anyway.
Yep.
Because fear is a liar. Right on.
Fear is a liar. Oof.
All right,
All right,
everyone.
everybody.
See you
Take
next
care.
time.
Bye.
Bye.